Redline Logbook here for Development Abilities Part 4, and we're starting off with the development ability known as Diving. This is an ultra rare ability, and it's not ultra rare because it's hard to obtain. It's actually quite easy to obtain. The thing is, most people don't do the activity you need to do to obtain this ability, which is fighting monsters underwater. What diving does is that it gives you the ability to move through the water as if you were a fish. It also increases your attacks when you're underwater. The vast majority of the individuals who have this development ability are members of the Poseidon Familia, because the Poseidon Familia constantly goes out into the oceans to fight monsters in the water. It's extremely rare for anyone else in any other Familia to have it, because they just don't do that. The lone exceptions of this being Tion and Tiona, because while they were bouncing around the world, going from familia to familia, they would take out odd jobs, including protecting beaches and fishermen from monsters. The sad part is, because this development ability is so situational, it is either as useless as any ability could be, or is as valuable as abnormal resistance. What I mean by that is, if you're not in the Poseidon Familia, or if you don't spend your entire life in the water, this is basically an ability that will never come up for you. You're just wasting your time having it. On the other hand, if you are that kind of person who spends much of their life in the water and constantly fighting monsters, diving will save your life just as much as abnormal resistance will save your life when you're in a dungeon. And since it is a development ability, it has the ability to upgrade as you level up or as you use it more and more. And so if you are a water-based adventurer, you will become basically the greatest swimmer who ever lived if you continue to increase this development ability. Because dive at I stat, the lowest, is on par with Undine Cloth. That's the blue spirit clothing that adventurers wear when they go into the water world of the dungeon. It would allows them to swim faster and become more buoyant while in the water. So if dive is on par with that at level I, imagine what a level S dive is. You basically would be unstoppable in the water. Your increased swimming speed and strength would be absurd. Next development ability is Crush. We actually don't get any real information on what this does, but based on all the individuals who have it, it's pretty clear what this does. Who are these individuals? Well, they're Tiona, Amazon martial artist who likes to hit things really hard with her fist or with a giant sword. Garth, a dwarf who likes to hit things really hard with his axe or his fists. Otter, who likes to hit things really hard with his fist or a sword. Leon, the Knight of Knights, the greatest swordsman in the entire world who likes to hit things really hard with his sword. And Lenore, a former bounty hunter who likes to hit things really hard with her fist to the point where she ended up getting the nickname Black Fist, because her fist would be covered in the blood of other people. When it dried, they would turn black. So based on the obvious name Crush, and also the fact that everyone who has it just likes to hit things really hard, I'm going to assume it increases your attacks when you hit really hard. Personally, I think the best clue to this would actually be Lenore. Surprisingly enough, she's the one who demonstrates Crush the best, because she actually fought against Ryu back when she tried to collect her bounty. Ryu's personality is very simple. She doesn't hold back. She goes straight in. And so her and Lenore were basically going toe-to-toe with each other. And at a certain point, Lenore was pushing Ryu back. And Ryu realizes that even though they're both level 4, it's clear that Lenore's strength, thanks to her stats plus skills, aka Crush, allowed her to have greater strength than Ryu, which allowed her to overwhelm her. Of course, that didn't last very long. Ryu just used her magic. But it's clear that Crush is most likely an ability that just increases your strength when attacking. Next skill is Healing Power. Now, technically, we never got an explanation of what Healing Power is, but thanks to Otter, we know what it does. So Otter has two skills. One skill that allows him to go into peacification at will, but in exchange, he rapidly depletes both his mind and his stamina. And the second, that gives him the two development abilities, Spirit Healing and Healing Power. Spirit Healing automatically starts to restore your mind as you deplete it, which means Healing Power probably does the other thing, which is automatically starts restoring your stamina as you use it. This development ability seems to be just as rare as Spirit Healing, where only like 4 people in all of Aurora actually have it. These people include Otter through a skill, Heath, one of the 2 top healers in all of Aurora, who has auto heal to her own body, so it actually makes sense that she also has a development ability that also increases her stamina. Tion, the more violent member of the 2 twin sisters, who constantly goes into full-on rages and brawls, so it makes sense that she has a development ability that restores her stamina. And the last one, which probably will surprise everyone, is Phryne, that fat, ugly Amazon that tried to molest Belle. I say that, but it also makes sense. She was at level 5, and she was the cornerstone to her entire familia. But yes, Healing Power seems to be targeted towards brawlers, just like Spirit Healing is targeted toward mages. Which means the individuals who most likely get this development ability are the ones who consistently push their stamina to the breaking point, where they are always just on the brink of exhaustion and near death when they're done fighting. Once again, this makes sense for all of their characters. Otter is Otter. Tion constantly is going to berserker state as she loses her rage and just starts fighting everything and anything. Heath, most likely, her stamina would give out long before her body because of her healing. And of course, Fryme just likes to pick fights with literally everyone, especially Eyes. She hates Eyes. So yeah, any adventurer who wants this development ability basically just has to just push themselves over and over again. And I'm going to leave it off on another that doesn't really have any real explanation, and we don't really have any hints about it, called Metalworking. And it's not blacksmithing, because we already have that. In fact, it most likely involves working with magic items, because the only individual who has metalworking is Asfi, who outside of Fels is the greatest magic item maker in all Aurora. You know what? All of the world. She's the second best in the entire world, so most likely increases the power of any magic item you make when metal is involved in the crafting of said magic item. That may sound overly specific, but there are a lot of skills and development abilities in Danmachi that are overly specific. So yeah, it just helps with her crafting ability for magic items. And no, I don't think it would help you craft swords or armor and such, because there's already the blacksmithing development ability for that. Metalworking is most likely just magic item specific. Danmachi is very clear to separate blacksmithing and crafting of magic items. One is the job of a blacksmith, and the other is the job of a mage or craftsman like Asfi. Alright, I'm going to stop for there. If you enjoy this video, subscribe, give it a thumbs up so you enjoy more Danmachi and other things. Thank you, and have a great day.